And in this class, we're gonna start understanding more the laws of the universe. And today we're gonna speak about the law of correspondence, that is the law of attraction. So let's just feel how that sit with us when we say that law of attraction, what it means for us, like to attract something. Just whatever inner knowing naturally comes through when you sit with that information. Very good. And just feeling that the body is full, open, and receptive. And all parts of your body are open and receptive to listen this class. And the law of correspondence says, as above, so below. As within, so without. So it means that our inner world mirrors the outer world. So healing within shifts everything around us. So I put this picture here of the world and the nature for us just to see as well this correlation, because today I want to really bring the awareness for us to realize that the earth and we are all connected as this big organism. The earth is this big organism, and there is this energy that weave and connect, and we are all connected somehow more than what we think. And sometimes people, when speak about the law of attraction, they just tend to think it is just this magic that we just think about everything we want and we just attract that in our lives. And there are obviously many films and things about the law of attraction. But the law of attraction is way more loving than what we think we are, and is have so much more depth into it, because it's actually everything is about finding ourselves in the inside for then attract and the things that were meant for us in the outside to reach us, to see us. So let me just ask you this question, and you can just close your eyes while you are feeling this question. So let's just feel as well that we kind of let in our rational mind in the side, and we just open our imagination, we open and connecting with our creativity, allowing as well more of our soul to listen to this session. So then we are expanding beyond the limits what we know, and we let new information to land in ways that we perhaps not even expected. So let's just connect with this word and feel what it feels inside when you feel this word, this question. What if everything that is meant to be mine is mine, and no one else can claim it but me? What if everything that is meant to be mine is mine, and no one else can claim it but me? So just let that question land inside your heart, inside your womb, inside your nervous system, your brain, your body, your light body. Very good. What if I need to become the magnet that will attract these things to my field and my life? What if I need to become the magnet that will attract these things to my field and my life? And just sitting with that question. So what if everything I want to attract is actually inside myself? It's already there, and I just need to unveil what is blocking me from achieve this. Very good. And just feel if perhaps this make you feel lighter somehow. Because sometimes it feels that we're always like battling to get the things we want. Sometimes we think as well that if someone else have it, then perhaps we will not get it. But then when you realize that you are the only person that can claim what is meant for you, it's almost that there are certain gifts that are only yours to claim. So then as well, we realize that, okay, if I'm not claiming my gifts, if I think, for example, I'm not enough and not worthy, and I'm not picking up the gifts that are meant for me, it means that no one else is picking those gifts. And those gifts gonna go to waste, kind of thing. So what if you put it that way as well? That is almost a responsibility as well to pick it up your gift, to receive you fully. So the law of attraction is not about we becoming something we are not. It is about becoming every time more authentic. So then all the things that are meant to come to us, they naturally come. Everything that we need to heal inside, it heals. That's gonna be amazing, no? If we suddenly can realize this. And then this is how people sometimes heal miraculously from big illnesses or creating miracles in their lives because they realize that everything they're looking for is actually in the inside and they are just focusing in feeling better within themselves. And there are some stories that I love that is about the power even of laughter because there are some people that were like deeply ill and then they were like focusing in just the joy and laughter and feeling better and about life, about themselves. And only that already, I heard a history about someone that healed from cancer with this. Like because sometimes obviously big diseases can be just this disconnection of ourselves with life or with our gifts. So then when we start like clearing the blockages that separate us from the authentic part of us, then the healing, the health naturally restore because our body don't want to be sick. Our body wants to be healthy. And it's the same with our mind. Because actually, some people say that 99% of our mind, well, that our mind tend more to be negative than positive. And that's actually true in the aspect when we are considering the mind about this conditioning mind that is full of this belief system of the society, of our parents, of what we think about ourselves because of comparing ourselves with others. But it's not the real pure mind that is connected with our soul because our mind that is actually connected with our soul, that is connected with our higher self, that is just this radiant expression of ourself, our mind is actually fully loving. Our mind is actually want everything for us. So our mind actually will not be evil. She will be super loving and caring and compassionate. So this law of correspondence and the law of attraction teach us a lot about the reflection of our inner mind and the lenses through which we are perceiving our reality. So let's just close our eyes again and almost like, and well, some of you even use like glasses. So it's easy to feel almost like, when you are not wearing glasses and you're watching and you cannot see clearly. And then suddenly you wear your glasses and then you can see more clearly. So what if life is all about this as well? That sometimes we are just wearing like and perhaps these glasses that are not appropriate for us and we just see blurry, we just see life as everything is negative in the outside. We are just blaming, judging, feeling guilt, feeling shame, or thinking that life um, is not this amazing gift. What if suddenly we realize that we can just use these new glasses through which we can perceive life more deeply, and we can perceive the joy even through the difficulties that have in the planet, because obviously it will be delusional, obviously, to think that there are no problems in the world, but us focusing just about blaming and complaining and judging and actually don't take us nowhere, not even outside our home. So just as well, let's perceive that what if everything that we say into ourselves in our thoughts is all around us? It's almost, imagine that our energy field around us is an expression of what we have in the inside. So everything in the outside is a reflection of what is inside ourselves. So what if everything we say into ourselves is in this feel around us, that is almost this magnet around us? So it means that if we constantly feeling shame, feeling guilt, feeling angry, judging, blaming, it means that it's almost that we have the signals around us that say, I love judge, I am, I love, I feel guilt here, give me more things to feel guilt about, or I feel shameful here, give me more things to feel shameful about. It's almost that we don't realize that, and our what we are saying to ourselves is creating more of that because of the law, that is everything is inside is in the outside. So we kind of end up attracting, in a way, exactly the situations that we wanting to avoid because we are so much focusing on that. And that's why is that some people, when they start doing, and obviously the books that speak about the law of attraction, and people who start like saying more positive affirmations and visualizing a car, and then they get the car of their dreams and things like that, it is just because they use a little bit of this concept, obviously, of start transforming their minds to then attract more abundance as well in the exterior world, kind of thing. So they start changing the inside to then transform the outside world. But something that is really important when we're speaking about the law of attraction as well, it is that many people in the new age end up being very selfish, because then they start thinking all about just about what is good for themselves, and then they start being in a way disconnected with the world, and in a way thinking that they are kind of greater than God as well, and or just that they are like gods. And the truth is that we are kind of creating with God. So we are creating from this space that is no selfish desire, and but it's more of this pure intention of this humbleness within our heart. It's about this devotion to life that then we create things. So for example, if we made in the image of God, we realize how deeply lovable we are, how sacred we are. And it's obvious that our birthright is to be healthy. So that should be just what is normal to us. And that's not something selfish to want to be healthy, because that's literally our birthright to being alive in this earth. So wanting that is not like a selfish desire, it's just like a natural thing that can come to us. And obviously there are certain things and certain people that born with very challenges, disorders or diseases that only God will deeply understand. And that's why understanding that only gods know at the end what is meant for us to receive, there is almost this sense of relief as well from our shoulders. Because sometimes we're trying to save people or saving, I don't know, your children or saving situations, and then when you realize, okay, I'm doing the best that I can, and I give it to God because only Him can create the miracles that we kind of wanting to see in the world sometimes. So to co-create with God is rather than trying to bend the life to our personal will, um, we want to connect more with this divine will, and this means that sometimes we want something so badly, um, that we cannot see that this is manifesting in our life, but perhaps it's just because that wasn't meant for us. So when something is not aligned, it eventually collapses. And doesn't mean that it's a punishment. It means that it's only full guidance. Very good. So when we pray, for example, for healing ourselves or healing our children, as a mother, for example, we're going to always be praying for our family. When we realize as well that we are this big organism in the planet Earth as well, and that there is as well our lineage and our bloodline, we realize as well that when we are praying, if we really tune in with being at service, we realize that we are reclaiming the health as a birthright for every single human being on the planet. Not only ourselves, but our whole lineage and our whole bloodline. And in a way, this, if you now close your eyes and feel the prayer, for example, for yourself to be healed, for your children to be healed, and you realize, okay, when I'm praying this, I'm praying because I want every single child in the whole world to be healed. I wish the joy of living for every single individual in this planet. Perhaps you feel already this expansion in the heart, almost this pulsing of life, because we start breaking the glass ceiling of just thinking for ourselves, but we realize that even our prayers to ourselves can be at service of humanity. So we can feel this energy of gratefulness expanding inside ourselves and this pure intention, and feeling that all this intention, we don't even need to like go, and it's not everyone to go and be a missionary or going in the most difficult places. But then when you just realize that whatever is inside you create a ripple effect in the oceans of consciousness on the earth. So then with the law of attraction as well, we really need a lot of discernment, because we can pray and receive the wisdom of God, of this infinite creator, if you prefer to call it that way, while releasing the need to understand every part of the equation. Because sometimes, as well, for example, you want, like, okay, every single individual in the world deserve abundance, because that's another birthright for every single individual to have food. We should have every single individual deserve food in their plate, deserve a home to live, deserve a cozy blanket, deserve comfort. But when you start, sometimes when you pray and you start figure out everything yourself, sometimes we can feel almost that the mind is easier that she gonna reach and say, no, no, this will never happen. I will never have this amount of money. I will never be able, because how that will happen? the equation just the math just no work in the calculator of my mind. But then when we pray for this and we give this to God, then we allow the miracles to happen because perhaps we don't understand the full equation, how this will come to fruition. But God knows, God acts in very mysterious ways that go beyond our comprehension. So that's what are miracles when we fully surrender and then miracles happen. Things that we never thought could possible happen, they start happening. But these start happening only when we open our heart for it, when we actually believe that this is possible. And in a way, it's a big sense of relief when we realize that we can surrender to God, or even when we can release our traumas to God, because sometimes we all have a lot of traumas within ourselves, and we try to figure it out everything. And sometimes even with this psychologists and we go through the mind and we, okay, I have this problem, this problem, this problem, this problem. And then we just spiraling more and more into the confusion of the mind. But then what if when we obviously we can talk about our traumas to process them, but what if suddenly we can just start like releasing some of these traumas as well out of our body to God, like seeing the traumas and say, okay, yeah, I see it. I know whatever happened to me was difficult. And now I'm ready to let go, to transcend. Because if you suddenly hug in the trauma and you keep hugging and hugging, this trauma will just never be able to have the opportunity to be released out of your body as well. So in when we're talking about the law of attraction, any attachment to a specific outcome as well will lead us to suffering. And what I want to say here as well, it is that our mind tends to be accustomed to suffering. And that's why our mind is so negative as well, because our mind is so untrained. And this is not our fault, because this being like our society for many years and we just keep repeating the same thing. So it's not our fault at all. But when we realize that our mind is actually accustomed to suffering, and then when we realize, okay, that's why we need to transcend to this higher mind that is our soul mind, almost give a space to a bigger space of our mind, to this kind and loving space of the mind to really flow through us. So, because we are so accustomed to suffering, we repeat the cycle all over again. So, because we clinging so much to suffering that we create more situations. Perhaps one is A, B, C, D, but it's just like at the end the same cycle that we are repeating of suffering. But this is not natural for our mind, because our mind actually the natural thing of our mind is to be loving and lifeful. But the only way that we start connecting with this higher mind, it is when we start allowing more of our soul as well to land inside our body. Very good. So let's just take a few deep breaths because I don't want to overwhelm as well with this information. And let's just start doing now the umming actually. Let's just take a deep breath and without trying to think about the things that I'm saying to yourself, to you, let's just start connecting with the umming of a bee. When we are connecting with the soul mind, sometimes we need to stop thinking and just feeling it. So now we're gonna just fully feel the sound, feel the vibration that this umming create inside our body. just start realizing whatever part that feels stress inside, or if the mind is quite active and thinking a lot, just feel that you're sending that humming more to that area. So you can even change the pitch inside, like to go higher, just feeling almost that you are targeting with this vibration to any place that feels unsettled, that feels overactive, overwhelmed. If any muscle inside feel tense, you can as well just send that humming to that area without expecting anything, just allowing the vibration to do the work. Mm, mm, mm. Let's just feel the Ami now going more into our womb space and just clearing any heaviness from the womb. Mm. Sending the Amin more into our heart space, all the center of our chest, our physical heart, our lungs. Mm. And now sending more that in the whole brain, feeling the whole skin around our head or skull or throat, that sound reaching as well, or teeth, or mouth, or lips. Mm. Mm. And just resting, just feeling how the body's feeling inside, feeling how vibration start moving our inner waters, the inner flow, clear anything that is stagnant inside, just to restart the natural flow within. Very good. Very good. And just to finish here, let's just remember as above, so below, as within, so without. So let's just feel when the more we shift and change the inside of ourselves, things naturally will change in the outside. And just feeling how this can feel almost a relief because then you realize, wow, okay, I can just focus in changing myself to then change the world. I don't need to stress so much about changing every single circumstances in the outside. I can just shift things in the inside, sit in meditation, sit with my breath, find the love that I'm seeking in the outside world within myself. Because when I love myself, when I feel that God loves me so deeply, then we realize that people around us start being more kind to us, more loving to us. And then everything become more of a loving environment as well because we are start attracting the right people. We start connecting with the right people that then will help us to achieve the things that we meant to achieve. Remembering that everything that is us is only ours to claim. Nobody will steal this from us. So then we can clear as well any sense of envy or jealousy because we realize that everything is ours, is only ours, and we don't need to compete for it. So let's just feel that we are making the commitment of time because I know most people will say, oh, I don't have the time. I don't have the time. I don't have the time. But it's really about commitment to find the time. Because, and I know sometimes we think that entertainment, um, it is a way of relaxing. And in a way it is, for example, watching TV can be relaxing as well. But when we overindulge in entertainment, over time, these create negative thoughts because we think that we are relaxing, but actually, what our minds wants to actually learn the real meaning of relaxation, it will not be achieved through watching TV. Watching TV will just take us to the same space all over the time. And as well, and as we can see, like for example, TV programs, many programs have the opposite effect. They actually program us to think that we are not enough, to think that other people are better than us. And everything around us is like a program that are programming our minds as well. So then and then we start like thinking, oh, I wish I had the love or the money that those people in that film have, or and we start feeling that our life just lacking magic, and then we start suffering. We feel that we don't have enough and we don't feel satisfied anymore with our life. Um, and yeah, and then we start feeling more and more disconnected from ourselves. And the thing it is that when we feel disconnected from ourselves, we lose inner dominion and authority. So when we lose inner dominion and authority, it means that we almost given away these authorities to someone else, to any other energy to take over, to this fight and flight to take over. So it is really important that we realize that if we are not claiming our body, someone else will claim for us. So to really embody as well and attract the things we want to attract is about realizing that what we really need to is connect with ourselves, with our body, with our inner dominion and authority as well.